I am Vinnie Tortorich. Folks, your good intentions have been stolen, but don't worry. I'm here to help you get them back. Back. You may be soft and succulent at the beginning of this process, but hang in there. Before long, you will be lean and mean back like Miss Gina Grad. How you doing, Pumpkin?
I'm good. I'm great now. Please. Thank you. You're embarrassing me. Thank you. Really nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so
They
much.
love you, Gina. The
I
crowd
I
loves you.
it's humbling, really.
Yeah.
Thank you. We've been talking so much and you've been just blathering on and on for how many years about, oh, artificial sweeteners bad. Oh, it's so bad for you. I'd rather have you even have real sugar than artificial sweet. Blah, blah, blah. Vinny, I'm sick of hearing it because now we have a study that says you're wrong, or at least there's benefits. And I'm just going to shove this where the sun don't shine when it comes to everything you have to say about this.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay. So substituting sugar for low-calorie sweeteners like aspartame and sucralose and stevia-derived substances, it, improves your weight loss. Okay, it can. It helps weight management. It can improve your mood. This is a study out of Denmark.
Mm.
Researchers over at the University of Copenhagen spent a year analyzing obese children and adults, those with body mass index of 30 or greater, and they were placed into two groups. One followed a healthy diet with less than 10% of energy from sugar, and one followed a healthy diet with their energy from artificial sugars. And participants were asked to complete questionnaires
Mm-hmm.
at 2, 6, and 12 months to assess the effects of the artificial sweeteners on their diet satisfaction and measure changes in their weight and BMI by age and all these things. Well, in the end, the research showed that adults consuming artificial sweeteners had a slightly better weight loss maintenance after 1 year. They lost 16 pounds when the other group only lost 12. And the head of the School of Psychology at the University of Leeds says the use of low calorie sweeteners in weight management has been questioned, in part because of the link between the use and apparent weight gain in observational studies. However, increasingly, it's becoming apparent that that is not the case in long term. So, are you just going to say goodbye now to this podcast, or
Yeah, folks, this is the last show. Thank you for listening. We're
thank
done.
you?
We're done. I'm done. I mean, you win, Gina. You finally
An
found one. But wait, there's
epidemiological
more.
study out of Denmark.
Yeah, a little
Took,
study out of Denmark. Now,
yeah,
here's
they
the
took,
thing. They put both groups on a diet, except
yeah.
one had 10% of their energy, meaning calorie. Calorie is energy, is a unit of measurement from sugar. That's a
Mhm.
low carb diet,
Right.
or it seems to be lower carb. And the other, and both groups lost weight, 12
Mhm.
and 16. Now, okay.
And
We're
they filled out their
still,
questionnaires.
yeah, they did the whole thing. Here's the deal. These sweeteners are by and large poison, just like every other sugar, right? If you think you're going to use these sweeteners now, even some of my friends in the low carb community, like Dr. Eric Westman at a little university, you may have heard of it, it's called Duke. He would even, he even says for people who are such sugar addicts, he says it's okay to use some of these sweeteners as the methadone of
Right,
sugars. And
right.
then now you got to get off the bat,
You wean
right?
yourself off the
Yeah.
methadone, yeah.
I say cold turkey. You're going off sugar. Don't go halfway. Look, you can't get halfway pregnant. You could go off birth control. You could do all the stuff, but if you're still wearing a condom, you're still not going to get pregnant, right?
Well
You
said.
got to go all the way. Condoms got to come off. You got to go off birth control. You got to do it all,
That's true.
right? Same with weight loss. If you think that, oh, I can do this and I can now just use these fake sweeteners. And look, you guys have heard me talk about this. I live in a little something called the real world.
Mm.
And in the real world, what happens is if you eat too much of these fake sweeteners, you're going to get the shits. And not just a little bit, you're going to get the shits in a big way. And what does that tell you when you either throw up or get the shits? Jenny, you want to take a guess?
Your body isn't very happy with what you put in it?
Body's trying to get rid of it. It looks at it as a poison. That's what your body's doing. It's like, get it out. I need to get it out. I don't want this.
Right.
Right. That's why we have the shits. It's there to protect you from dying.
Well,
When you
and
throw
you put it bluntly, and my dad was way in front of all this low carb stuff because he was doing this in, like, the '90s, and there was no options, and nobody knew what the hell he was doing, and he would say, "Gina, if you come across something called xylitol, just be careful. I'm not doing so good." And that's the only reason I knew that word. Aspartame
Yeah.
and xylitol, he's like, "Oh boy, go easy on that stuff. I'm not well."
And by the way, some of it, I can't remember which one, so I don't want to misspeak, but it's one of the sweeteners that I want to say it's NutraSweet or one of those. I've had people tell me that they get forgetful when they're on it. Like you'll be
What?
in the middle of a thought, like saying something, and then they can't remember what they're even talking about. Like they just their mind just goes blank on them. You know, I've had people tell me, and by the way, that's not a study. I didn't read that on the Google machine or anywhere. I'm just telling you guys, I talk to people all the time. They'll say, ever since I stopped using Diet Coke or Diet this or this sweetener, putting that in my coffee and putting this in desserts and everything else, their memory becomes sharper. I hear all kinds of stuff. I lose weight. I'm not as bloated anymore. So looking at this on a 12-month short-term study where the interaction was a better diet to begin with, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it at all. And who's to say if they took that 10% of sugar out of the other people's diet, they wouldn't have lost that much or more,
Well, and
right?
that's what I put my Vinnie hat on when I read that. My first thought was 12 to 16 pounds, not a huge difference, especially when you're relying on people to tell you what they ate
Right.
by filling out a questionnaire. So I would probably, I'm no scientist, I would maybe call that equal. No pun intended with the artificial sugars.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just looked up what you said about brain fog. Um, on Neuropedia, 6 foods that cause brain fog, and artificial sweeteners is number 5.
Okay. And by the way, I never looked up anything. I'm just telling you, I talk to people every day, all day. Like an Indian, I have my ear to the ground. An
Really?
American Indian, that's what they do. I think they listen to the ground, they hear footsteps or
Is
something.
that how that works?
Yeah, that's how, they didn't have cell phones back in the
Right,
day
right.
when they were living out in teepees and what have you.
Oh,
So they would put their ear to the ground. That was the original cell phone.
it's quite a history lesson.
Yeah, I think that's where Apple stole the idea from. Like, wait a minute.
Wow. Now I gotta get my tinfoil hat.
Go
Well,
look
this
that
says,
up.
due to
Yeah.
its chemical makeup, aspartame may cause an imbalance in neurotransmitters such as norepinephrine, epinephrine, and dopamine. And it's proposed that excessive aspartame ingestion may lead to neurological issues like learning, emotional function, irritability, and depression.
So
That's what
folks, you
Neuropedia
lose an
says.
extra 4 pounds over eating sugar, but good luck passing a test. Yeah. And I'm talking about a urine test. No, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
right. Yeah, these are all I every time I try to back you into a corner, you find a way to wriggle yourself out.
Come right out the other side. What else you got over there? Come
Well,
on.
this is a personal question, and when I say personal, I mean I ask it every couple of years, and I see people talking about it in when I see people really talking about it, and for
Mhm.
whatever something's in the air, we're all talking about it again. I really don't know. I have an idea of what you think of it. I'm not sure. I would love to have a little reminder about the weight you put on counting your macros, your nutrition, and your macronutrients. If I can say it, did I just eat a tablespoon of aspartame? So when we're all trying to get the edge and make sure. For me, I'm like those people who call you and say, "I'm doing the same thing every day. I don't know how I'm gaining weight." And then when you really look at what I'm eating, I like forgot to tell you, "Oh, this, and this." So I like these little counters every once in a while just because it keeps me sort of accountable as opposed to being like, "I don't think I ate anything bad today."
Right.
So I got another one of these macro counters, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. And I'm kind of trying to, really do it to a T. And I'm thinking, before I invest too much emotional energy into this, I better check with Vinny. And I'm not the only one. There are full Facebook groups that are just dedicated to counting your macros. So
So,
I'm
all right. So you're counting your fat, proteins, and carbohydrates. Is that it?
exactly. And you get a
Okay.
certain percentage of each a day.
Okay. And what is this like an app on your phone? How does
Yeah, I
it
mean, there's
work?
millions of apps about this.
Right.
So, like, mine right now is 150 carbs, 131 grams of protein, and 42 grams of fat.
Is that what they're suggesting you eat
Yeah.
per day? Okay. And how close are you coming to that?
Well, I just started it. Yesterday, I met the fat, I almost met the protein, and I did half the carbs from, my salad. I ate
Well,
so much salad.
alright, so what was the full amount of carbs you get to have?
169 grams. And
Okay.
then today it says 150. So I don't
Okay.
know what the algorithm is.
You want me to tell you how many grams of carbs you should have per day?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you change it in your app? I'm gonna help you out here.
Yeah, I can change it.
Okay. As close to 0 as possible. There, fixed.
I thought you were gonna make me do math and carry the 2. No, okay.
Yeah, you carry a 2. You can have 2 grams of carb per day. Carry that 2 around.
Well, this is why, and now I said, this is why something isn't right, because out of these percentages, the carb one is the highest. So I just figured, well, I get carbs from onions and rice cauliflower.
Look, I personally eat somewhere between 20 and 40 grams of carbs per day just by accident,
Okay, I'm
right?
redoing this. Yep.
And, I don't have a weight issue at all.
No, you do not.
Um, uh, I don't have an issue, brain food, all the stuff people do, "Oh, you need carbs for your brain." Hell, I just wrapped off shit about Agent Orange that you had to go look up in the last podcast.
True.
I'm doing that without any carbs. All the shit that comes out of my head, 0 carbs, pretty close to 0 carbs. Okay. You want all of your carbs are a non-essential nutrient. It's a
Yeah.
non-essential macronutrient. The closer you get to 0, the better.
Then why are these macros, why do people live and die by these, and why are we what? What am I missing?
Somehow I've been talking till I'm blue in the face and you don't hear me, just like
I do
Serena.
hear you. I do hear
Are
you,
we
but
married
that's
too?
only
Because I thought
it
you're
did
married,
seem,
thinking all of a sudden you can't hear a damn word I'm
and that's
saying.
why I said, I think I know what you're gonna think of. I thought it sounded scientific, so you might like it, but 40% carbs? I changed it to 20 just to see what would happen, and then it would make it 35% of my daily allowance should be protein and 45 should be fat.
Now I got 2 songs I gotta play at the end of this
Oh,
damn
hell.
show.
Okay. I'm ch this is why we ask questions.
You wanna be as close to 0 as humanly possible, Gina.
I just don't wanna upset myself, because remember how pissed I got when I made a rice cauliflower casserole and that blew my carbs out for the day?
Yeah. Stop trying to Gina, can we do it are you trying to lose weight?
Yes.
That's right, you're Jewish, I'm sorry. Um, and
What
you're a
kind of
woman.
question is that?
You're Jewish and you have a vagina. Of
Thank
course you're trying
you.
to lose weight. Okay.
I have a
Even
Jewish vagina, I'm trying to lose weight.
yeah. Used to be my favorite kind in college.
It's my
Yeah,
husband's favorite kind.
yeah, apparently.
And I know, and look,
If you ask Reddit, it's my favorite kind too, because we're in a relationship.
oh, yeah, no, we've been together for a long time.
Yeah,
I
how's that working out for you, Gina?
Oh, I mean, apparently we're both very satisfied with our relationship. So
Oh, yeah.
high five to us.
Yeah,
We're doing great. Yeah, there
yeah.
we go. Um, I know what you're gonna say. Do what I'm telling you to do. Do what I've been telling you to do for years and years, and stop with the fakakta, trying to get a little bit of an edge or cut a corner. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bro science my way out of this.
Gina, there was a moment where I thought you and I were gonna have a 30-minute coffee one day.
Yeah.
How long did that coffee go on for, Gina?
Over 4 hours.
Yeah. Have you not learned anything?
I have. That's why I'm saying I wanna, really tighten up my game, Vinnie style, and I'm gonna do you one better. I'm gonna count all this shit. And then I was like, "Wait a second. I don't think these numbers are adding up in the way that," as Tim Conway Jr. would say, "This is fuzzy math. We better check with
Yeah.
Vinnie."
Yeah. Get as close to zero as possible. If you end up 40, 50 grams of carb per day, you'll still be fine.
All right,
But,
I'm
and by the way, I shouldn't say that to you because you'll go, he says I can have 50 grams. The closer to zero you can get, the weight will fly off of your body.
and I
So,
already know this. I just needed
so
a
why don't you just
reset.
do it? Your dad knew it. Your dad was
I
as
know.
fit as a fiddle. I
Yeah.
mean, come on. Till of course he died.
Yeah, but it had nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
Wasn't like a heart attack from, that kinda stuff.
Your dad had the world's worst luck.
He did,
Is what it comes down to.
he did. It
He
was
got
like a
cancer
basically a
during
freak
COVID.
accident.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with that kinda thing. Alright, I just changed this to 0 carbs, and, I think this is gonna be better.
Let's see what happens. You know what, Gina? Can you report next week and let us know since you go into zero carbs on your little app there? Let's see what it tells you to eat.
I will because sometimes I'm like, "Ugh, I can't with the entering in," and sometimes I like it. Sometimes I like the accountability. I'm in a place right now where I like the accountability. So, yeah, this'll be interesting.
You ever see a lion on the Serengeti, like in a movie or
On
something,
TV, yeah.
that kind of thing? You think he's counting carbs?
Mm-mm.
And those dudes are jacked. Those
Yeah, they're
lions
jacked.
are jacked.
Yeah.
Mm. You ever see a giraffe?
Yeah.
And they eat a lot of tree leaves and everything. They're a
Yeah, that's
pretty
what they can
clever
read.
animal,
Oh, yeah.
but, do you see them counting calories? This kind of
Mm-mm.
thing? Mm.
No.
Do you think a tiger has ever walked into the tiger den and said to its cubs, "Hey, there was a zebra out there. I could have killed it and brought it back home for you guys, but, I didn't. We're being good today. We're not gonna eat." You think that's a good idea?
Mm-mm.
No, no, never a good idea. So why would it be a good idea for you to sit around, count calories? What about eat protein, eat fat, call it a day? It's
I
that
am.
simple.
I will, but I have a little bit of PTSD from a conversation we had maybe 7 years ago
Mm.
when I was when I first jumped in and needed to kinda calibrate myself, and I was these are exaggerations, but I was like, "I know what's going on, I didn't eat any carbs today. For breakfast, I had, 14 eggs and 18 pieces of bacon." And you're like, "How about 2 eggs and 3 pieces of bacon?" So I get a little worried that I'm overdoing it no matter what, and I get in my head about it, and I just need to kinda, relax, I
And
think.
by the way, if you overdo it for a day or two because you feel like you're on a tightrope without a net and you're
Mhm.
kind of white knuckling it, overeat. I tell that to everyone, overeat for the first couple of days and then crack it back. And oh,
Yeah,
I didn't need 10 eggs. I'm okay with 3 eggs and 2 slices of bacon. You know, it takes a minute to figure that out.
yeah.
It just doesn't happen just so. It takes work.
And when you're off your game, you're doing it, but, you're not, I'm not, pre-wedding doing it. That's where I wanna be back to. That's what my husband's doing. And I think I overshoot going, "Well, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do macros, and I'm gonna do this." No, I'm going on my 2.5 mile a day walks and walking, to the gym, which is almost 2 miles away, and
Yeah.
then eating, just relax or it might backfire. Speaking
What are
of
you
which,
do,
yeah, go ahead.
what are you doing at the gym?
Right now, I'm I'm just doing arms,
And what
and
does that mean? Tell me
so
what
I'm
that means
doing
to
the
Gina.
this one, the this
Mhm.
one, the this one,
Mhm.
and then at home, I do these ones. And
The
now if
waist.
you're just listening to this, you don't have no idea what I just said.
All right, so she does a bench press on a machine,
And then this
and
one,
then she pushes up, she does a shoulder press on a machine, and then she pulls down on the
uh-huh,
machine.
and then
If she's
this
doing a
one.
lat pull, and then she does a chest fly.
Yeah,
So, basically, you're doing every movement you can do with all you could do with your upper body is push away and pull
yeah.
towards. Now, you wanna get good results?
Yes, please.
Okay. Whether you do 1 set to failure or like I like to do a warm-up set. I'll do 2 or 3 sets. I'll do a warm-up set, a medium set, and then a set to failure. When you're pushing that, so you're pushing the bench press out, you wanna go out slowly, and you wanna come back even slower, in and
Yes,
out as slow as you can, and you wanna get to where you're pushing that last one, and you get about halfway, and you can't even get your arms out, but don't drop it on that
right.
one. You get as far as you can't go anymore, like your arms are failing, and then let it ease back. Boom, you've done everything you could do. And do that on shoulder press, do it on the pull downs, do it there, and on the flies, do it. Do it on every single one of those machines.
Well, I know from you that, you don't wanna put on so much weight and throw your back out and show everyone what a badass you are, because that's not the way, and I
Yeah,
know to go back about at least half the speed as I went forward.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Just look, I go in the gym. It looks like I'm doing nothing. It's like, is he doing anything? Because I very slow, very meticulously, and I go until my muscles won't do another one.
And how many is that for you, sometimes?
It
Like
depends.
how
I try to put such a weight on to where if I start finding myself at 10 or 12, that's too many. I like
okay,
to be between 6 and 8. So on the warm-up
6
set, I'll do a little faster because I'm just trying to get a little synovial fluid. So I'm still slow, but I'm moving at kind of that speed if you're watching a
Mhm.
video. And
Medium speed.
medium speed, which is way slower than most people would move anyway.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll add enough weight to where the medium set, I can only get about 10 reps. Now, I don't go to complete failure. I could probably do another rep or two to get to complete failure, but I'll leave that set there and then I'll do the third.
So how come all the dudes at the gym are screaming and making faces and going as fast as they can?
They're trying to get laid. That's peacocking. They're peacocking. They're drawing
Okay.
attention to themselves.
They sure
When you
are.
hear, ah, and
Yep.
then you hear weights crashing to the floor.
Yes! Yes, and you're not even supposed to do that. It's bad manners to just throw
Yeah,
those on the
they
ground.
got signs everywhere. Don't
Yes,
drop the weights and all
yes.
that. What do you think they're doing?
They're
They're
showing
dropping.
everyone.
Ah,
And and then
ugh,
they
ugh.
walk back and forth in front of the mirror,
Yeah.
like they're pacing like a panther.
Yeah, 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 like, a
Yeah.
caged panther, and
Yes.
"You better let me out right now." Ooh, yeah, that's what they do.
I do.
Yeah, they're just trying to get laid, that's
I
all.
see. I didn't
Yeah,
realize.
pussy. Yeah,
Okay. So,
yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. Okay, good. The last thing you did say that you were gonna tell us about a woman who overshot was it marathon running or
Yeah,
cycling?
let's call her Megan because,
Okay,
well, that's her name.
okay.
Um, and, everyone knows Megan. She's, we call her Foxy Hoxie. She's one of the admins over on the, Facebook page, Megan Hawks, and, look, she did a consult, and I said, "Megan," she goes, "Okay, I'm getting ready for this 100, yeah, I'm getting ready for a metric century, which is 66 miles, right?"
Oy vey, yeah.
Megan's done amazing work over the years. She's lost like 100 pounds.
Wow.
She's a swimmer. She does all this stuff, and she wanted to do this metric century, and she goes, "I can't figure it out. My legs are sore all the time, and I'm gaining weight, and I'm feeling tired, all lethargic and all that." I said, "All right, Megan, take me through it." She goes, "Well, on Monday, I've been riding 20 miles on my bike.
Okay.
And then I go to the gym and I get on the treadmill and I run and then I do sprints and I drop back down to a run. I do sprints
Oof.
again. And then I'm lifting weights. And on Tuesday, I've been riding 20 miles. And then I go to the gym and I run and, I'll do sprints in the running. I'll, just jack that treadmill up and go hard and the whole thing. And she goes, but no weights. And on Wednesday, I go for a 20-mile ride and I think she takes that day off of running for some reason, but I
Oh,
think she did weights. I'm paraphrasing a little bit. On Thursday, she rides a bike again and she runs and sprint. On Friday, that's a special day. She doesn't ride her bike.
well.
but she does leg work in the gym. And I don't think she runs. Maybe she runs, but she doesn't sprint. And then Saturday she, does it. She's been doing it every day. Okay. She's wearing it's like, oh, you're overworking. You're overworking. You're not getting. And by the way, a lot of the weight you're gaining, that's your body hanging on to. You're inflamed. That's inflammation, and
Wow.
you're tired. You're wearing yourself out. You're overdoing it. So, and by the way, this event's coming up in 3 weeks. It's
Okay.
probably happening when this podcast comes out, to be honest with you, because we're a few weeks ahead with these podcasts. But she's overworking, right? I said, look, my job here is to get you to slow down. And she's only got 3 weeks to get ready. So I gave her a protocol. It was like, cut the leg workout, stop sprinting, stop running altogether right now. And I cut her bike down to Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I wanted to do active recovery on Monday, rest, do some stretching. Same thing on Friday. But I have her riding less than 20 miles each day during the week. And then increasing the miles on Saturday because she's not even doing long enough rides to do the,
The whole
you know,
thing.
the 62
Right.
miles, right? I guess that's like 100. Yeah, it's about right. 62 miles is about a metric century. And I said, look, you only have 2 weeks to do that because the third week you need to taper off, right? So we're going to get her there. But I said to her, I said, look, you're one of the admins. You have my ear. Why did you listen to anyone except me? You could have called me months ago. I was mad at her. I was
Yeah.
really mad. I said, Megan, fucking call me next time. Just call me. I do this for people I don't know. I know you.
Yeah.
It's like I get mad at you and Andy. It's like, you guys just call me.
Yeah.
You got a question. You know where I am. I'm
But
sitting around
that's the
doing
thing. Let
nothing.
me guess. Let me guess. Her response was, "I didn't think I needed to call. I thought I was doing everything right until I got hurt."
Yeah, some other guy told her something.
Yeah.
Like, okay, and stop listening to other guys.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, please.
That goes for dating, that goes for everything.
Yeah, everything I say, take it and do it. And that's the only thing you should ever do.
So does she I mean, I'm sure anything's better than nothing, but does she have time to recover and rebuild the way you're
Yeah, she's going to get there because she's a hard one. She's a hard nut. She
Yeah.
knows how to do it, and she knows how to swim long. She knows how to go long.
Oh,
She's
wow.
figured it out. And then I told her, and then she wants to start doing triathlons after this. I said, before you start, let's talk. So we'll get her all figured out. But
Wow.
it's that thing where people sometimes you got to get them out of their own way.
Yes.
You
And
know.
like we always said on Corolla, diet and exercise, it ain't sexy. Studies about a pill that replaces exercise and bro science and biohacking and all that's sexy. And you're like, no, 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 no. Stay with the non-sexy and we'll get you where you want to be
Yeah.
without, paying for it later and without it not working and you crying.
Yeah, he had a professional bodybuilder on today, and he brought my name up. He goes, "Yeah, I used to have this nutritionist on, and I was asking him if there's any kind of because they were talking about discipline and eating right all the time when you're a bodybuilder." And Phil Heath, 7-time Mr. Olympia,
Wow.
and he goes, "Yeah, you have to, just delayed gratification is all Phil Heath was talking about." And he goes, "Yeah, Vinny, I was asking, is there any protein bar, any bar, any bar?" And he goes, "No, there's no bars. There's no bars." And then he goes, "Wait, there's one."
Uh-oh.
And he goes, I was like, "Yeah, yeah, what is it?" And he goes, "It's made out of buffalo meat or something." He goes, "I was hoping he would say chocolate and peanut butter, but he's saying buffalo meat."
Didn't you feel so validated?
Well, no, that Adam said that's what I said, you
Yeah.
know.
Saying,
But
"Thank
yeah,
you."
but yeah, yeah, it is what it is. You don't get to look a certain way unless you do a certain sort of thing. It's not by accident. The other thing that's not by accident is Gina Grad being on Instagram telling you guys what to do, right,
Thank
Gina?
you. That's not an accident, you're right.
No, that's not
My
an accident at all.
My Extra Family on Instagram. It's step parenting, it's advice. I ask you questions. I give you the hot info on all this kind of stuff. And I really, really love this community. We help each other on My Extra Family. So please join me there. Also, my book, My Extra Mom, it's a step parenting book, but it's for kids. It shows them what to expect when a new person joins their family. Please get it for yourself or anyone who might be interested in a step family dynamic, but sort of told for children. And I wrote the book I needed, is what I always tell people. You can get that on Amazon, of course, by going to VinnieTortorich.com. You click on the banner, it takes you right to the book. You just type in My Extra Mom. It doesn't cost you anything extra. And speaking of not costing you, it's still a couple bucks off. So enjoy that. And then finally, The Brian and Gina Show, the official podcast of Los Angeles Magazine, anywhere you listen to podcasts.
I'm sorry I asked. Folks, rate and review this podcast. Now, Gina, before we go, you reminded me of two songs.
Uh-oh.
Now, I'll tell you, one is from Pink Floyd. Now, I'm going to
Okay.
let you pick because we got to wait until this thing uploads, so you're going to have to wait for a minute. So I don't
Yeah,
want
I
to play
get it.
two songs.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, one is by Pink Floyd,
Okay.
and the other one is by a group called Humble Pie.
Ooh, I like humble pie.
Yeah.
What are the songs gonna be?
Yeah. I
Do
can't
I just
remember.
pick
I
one
can't
without
remember. Yeah, you got to pick one of the two. I'm not going to tell you the songs.
let's go humble pie, some delicious humble pie.
All right. I can't. Oh, I know why I said this. It's like you said something about being humble.
Yeah,
Oh, humble pie. You
perfect.
know,
I can't wait.
that's how I came up with this. Now I remember how I came up with it. So, folks, there's a little acapella on the front of this song, which means Gina now probably knows what I'm going to play if she knows humble pie. Do you know any humble pie, Gina?
I think I know, like, 2 songs from my classic rock days, my classic rock DJ days.
All right, well, let's see if this is one of them. So, on behalf of Gina Grad, my name is Vinnie Tortorich. Put life into living and do it with a group called Humble Pie.